Ajalorun, Winnie Winnie, me be my answer. Afifi jeje, efufu leje, yawa oya ashe. Iba oya ajalaya, ajalorun, Winnie Winnie, me be my answer. Afifi sheshe, efufu leshe, yawa oya ashe.
Ashe, Ashe. Peace and love to the family. It is your boy Corbin reporting live. We are here. Was Jesus the op? Now listen, family. I don't want to waste no time, so I'm not. This first chapter, this first episode, we will be talking about the Virgin Mary. So let's talk about her. But first, let me ask you a question, guys. What is y'all what is y'all knowledge of the Virgin Mary? I mean, of course, we know she was the Virgin. We know the story of the three wise men who came to see her to let her know that her son was the chosen one, was the Messiah. I think some of us might know that her and Joseph had to leave their town where they were from. But I think that's it. Do you guys know more? Or is that pretty much like the basis that you know? Virgin Mary, the mother of Jesus, three wise men. She was with Joseph. Well, for the past few months, like I said, if anybody know me, they know Barnes and Noble is like my sanctuary. So for the past few months, I've been receiving and just getting a lot of information and knowledge in this constant back and back, searching, and then double searching. And the things that I've discovered about Mary is amazing. A lot of things, and before I even go any further, let me say this, people, this is very important. We cherish religion so much to the point where it becomes a dominant program, and it has become a dominant program in our life, and it has blocked spiritual path in our life. Religion has no other purpose except to be a guide and through our spiritual path. It was never meant to be a control mechanism, which it has became. But once we dig a little bit deeper, as we will, it was. It was meant to be a control mechanism. So we are here to learn about Mary. So, like I told you, I think that was just maybe a little bit of what we may know, or what at least I at the time knew about Mary from what I learned from church. Now, maybe it was my pastors, previous pastors. Shout out to all the pastors, preachers, bishops, all theologians. Now, Pope Francis, if you're watching, awesome. Thank you so much, sir. So, I'm going to be going off of both books, the black and the red, but mostly the black today. And since people always want to make sure that, you got to have your researches, you got to have your backup, make sure you have your proof, and people always want to know who was the author, who wrote the book. So I'm definitely making sure we got that. So y'all got y'all pens and y'all pads? Remember I told y'all, have your pens and pads ready. You got them? Okay, hold on. I'm going to take me a drink. I'm going to give y'all time to get it if you ain't got it. Pen and pad. A little good elevator music. Be good right now. Okay, we ready? Okay, write this down. The book that I will be reading off are notes from the book, The Anti-Gospel of Yeshua the Magician. The Anti-Gospel of Yeshua the Magician. Now, some people may say issue. These are both same word, of course, but another another term, for Jesus, or another name back in those days for Jesus. For the ones who are up on game, you know that the letter J was not around at the time of the language of Christ at the time. So it's spelled Yeshu. Like I said, issue or Yeshu, however you may pronounce it, however it is. But that's Yeshu. And this book that I will be taking or reading notes from, is called The Anti-Gospel of Yeshu the Magician. Okay. That Big Mama T is good sometimes. A lot of times, all the time. Now listen, like we said a while ago, you knew of Mary and you knew Joseph. Mary's last name was what? Mary Magdalene, right? What was Joseph's last name, y'all? Write this down as well. Joseph Pantria. I'd heard different people say the last name, but I'm going to give it to you how it's written. So, Joseph Pantria. That's Panthera. I'm just pronouncing it as it sounds. And once again, I heard people from videos I just this as tonight just looked up. They say it different, but Pantria. Joseph Pantria. And there are certain books. One, I'm going to spell this out because my pronouncing game be off sometimes. Perfect reader, but the pronunciations. I'm going to spell it for you guys. It's Epiphanis. This word actually looks familiar. If you know it, kudos to you. I'm not even going to waste my time. But this book confirms that Joseph Pantry is the same Joseph from the Gospels, saying that Jesus' grandfather, his last name, of course, was Pantria. The Talmudic explanation reference here says that adulteresses, now we're going back to Mary now. The Talmudic explanation reference here says that the adulteresses were known as the curlers of women's hair. Now what they're saying is back in those days, the ones you would call, I guess, the prostitutes, the Tatianas, the woman thou loose, they were the ones that were really good with the hair game back in the day, what they saying. So they were known to do hair, get money, do hair, Something else extraordinary shows up when we read the Aramaic version of Mary. I'm going to read it again. Something else extraordinary shows up when we read the Aramaic version of Mary, the dresser of woman's hair. So this anti-gospel of Yeshua, this book is taking you back to previous books from previous times, and as I'm going to be discussing. There we go. As I'm going to be discussing later, the Vatican, a lot of these emperors, kings, whatever you want to call them, they put in a lot of work to make sure a lot of books that held the truth were banned. Let me say that again. The Vatican, people like Constantine and people who came after Constantine made sure that the truth of who Christ, his mother was, made sure they were really banned and forgotten if they had it in their hands forever. But back to where we were. Something else extraordinary shows up when we read the Aramaic version of Mary the Dresser, a woman's hair. Miriam Magdala Nashia. Now, it's almost spelled like Mary Magdalene, almost to the damn T. Now, the way it's written back in those ancient days, now remember I told you in previous videos, you have to look up Latin, Greek, the ancient Christian Hebrew to get the truth of our knowledge. So, this woman, Miriam Magdala, same last name. Don't let me mess it up. Miriam Magdala But this time, this woman, her last name was Nashia. Beautiful name. And that's spelled Nashaia. This is very important. So I'm going to say the name again. Miriam, which is spelled Miriam. Magdala, and the way they got it spelled here is M with a question mark after that M, Gadela, just like Mary Magdala, but boom, after that it's Nashia or Nashia, and that's spelled Nashaia. Got that? All right. Now it says that Miriam, this seems to have been the original root name of Mary Magdalene. So that name that I just gave you guys, and I hope you got it written down, this is the root word, the root name of Mary Magdalene. And like I said before, our work and the stuff that we have been handed down in these Bibles have been in the hands of literally our American forefounders or founding fathers. The work in the Bible has been handed down by the four founding fathers. The work in the Bible has been dealt with through people who have certain ideas that you didn't have no control of or you didn't have no say of because you was in Africa. By the time these rules and these PayPal bulls, and we'll talk about later, by the time they start coming in, they were bringing you in. Do you understand what I'm saying? By the time they start kicking this stuff into action, they were bringing you in. And I want people to look up Pope Alexander the Sixth, I believe, 1493. But back to where we were. Now, Miriam is the root name of Mary Magdalene, which may explain the original oral tradition of her being an adulteress. So what they're saying is, for the true Christian scholars who really know more than we knew about who Mary was, they talked about Mary being kind of loose. So there's people out there right now like, yeah, it's a fact that she was loose, and so that might have been pretty much where you knew at. That was pretty much where the buck stopped. That's all you knew. But what I'm saying right now, that Miriam Magdalene Nashia or Nashia, I hope you got that written down. This is the true name of Jesus' mother, Mary Magdalene. So let's see what it says about her. And once again, it said, this may explain the oral tradition of her being an adulteress, which means this explains why, it is well known that if you don't know nothing about Mary, at least you know that she used to be loose out there, she used to be out there, But anyway, let's keep it going. This explains the old tradition of her being an adulteress. We already seen reason to believe that Yeshua, or remember I said issue or Yeshua, but we're going to say Yeshua. This sounds better. Yeshua the Nazarene. We have already seen reason to believe that Yeshua the Nazarene. Now, I haven't even said that one yet, and that's Yeshua, the same way we spelled it earlier, but this time it says Yeshua the Nazarene, and this is spelled N-A-Z, that's N-A-Z-A-R-E-N-E. And once again, we have already seen reason, and this, like I said, when I copied this was already breaking down previous works, so it's just, if it sounds like it's a continuous something, there probably is, but I'm just writing down important stuff to focus on Mary. Back where I was. We have already seen reason to believe that Yeshua the Nazarene may have been mistranslated as Jesus of Nazareth. We have already seen reason to believe that Yeshua the Nazarene may have been mistranslated as Jesus of Nazareth. So what we are getting are the true names of the people who you, they, us, whoever go to church and worship. You're saying Jesus the Christ. Some people are saying Manuel. Some people are saying Heru in Egyptian. I want to give you the breakdown of who this man really was, the human, who he really was before he became Christ. Let's focus on who he was as a human. So we go to the mother. All things start from the mother. And let's go, because we're far from done. It's going to be like a part 1 and part 2. And I'm going to break it down again. We have already seen reason to believe that Yeshua the Nazarene Now, how many of y'all have heard of that name before? Yeshua or Yeshu the Nazarene. Now, we have heard of Jesus of Nazareth. We have heard of Jesus of Nazareth. But have you ever heard of Yeshu of Nazarene? Me neither. Let's keep going. We have already seen reason to believe that Yeshua the Nazarene may have been mistranslated as Jesus of Nazareth, and now a similar situation has cropped up in which Miriam Magdala may have been mistranslated as Mary of Magdala. Mary Magdalene, excuse me. So now you do your research. You look up that name. You look up Yeshua of Nazarene. And we're not done now, because it's really about to get heated. I got to throw a disclaimer in there in a minute, but not right now. Matter of fact, let's throw a disclaimer in there right now. Now, the book that we're about to get ready to go into, like I told you, the book that we're reading right now is the Anti-Gospel of Yeshua the Magician. Right? So this author's breaking it down, some books. This author, right now, that I just got finished, we're breaking down, he's breaking down books that are older than your Bible, of course. These books give you the true. These books are the books that were banned. These books are the books that they are in the Vatican. These books are the ones that are now declassifying. And if you do your research, they've been there the whole time. A lot of people out there talking about they don't like reading. Okay, that's you. So don't complain when you're out there in the wind and you're lost and you don't know what's going on in the world and they just throw this veil on you. Because it's Fahrenheit 451. So this disclaimer, matter of fact, let's go to the book. Let's go to the book. Matter of fact, I don't need that book. Write down the Toledot Yeshua. Or Isha, excuse me, I'm messing up already. Toledot of Ishu. That's T-O-L-E. Write this down right now. This is very important. T-O-L-E-D-O-T. Toledot. That's T-O-L-E-D-O-T. Toledot of Yeshua, of Ishu. Still Y-E-S-H-U. Y-E-S-H-U, yeah. What I said earlier. Now, a disclaimer right now is because this is the book that we're going to be going off. This is the book that's going to explain to you who Mary is. We see Gayle King. We see Oprah right now. A lot of heat going on for how they've been really treating their own kind and not really doing a fair justice of doing it. How they did Bill. R. Kelly situation. How they did Mike. How they try to do Russell. The disrespect that we seen with the interview. And shout out to Sister Lisa. Shout out to the beautiful Sister Lisa. And shout out to both of them, really, because at the end of the day, they're still our sisters. And we seen how certain stories of people going through it and people going through different things that they don't want to talk about and certain things that have been crept under the rug and now coming to light. We have seen that come more and more into the new generation, haven't we? Now, once you read the Toledot Yeshua or Issue, as I'm going to be reading it, and this stuff is, we're talking like 6 BCs. This is old stuff. That's why I said do your research. If you want to say I'm wrong, then prove me wrong. Do the research. But everything I spat and everything I put in here is based off of research. So I'm telling you, if you're feeling some type of way, and I haven't even got started where I'm about to go in, but if you feel some type of way, don't tighten up your cheeks. Go do the research. Prove me wrong. Sunday, right? Bible study, right? Church, right? Because I'm about to go in. So far we know about Joseph Pantry, the Joseph from the Bible. We know about Mary, and now her name we now know is Miriam. Now let's go to the story now, since we know who Mary's real name is, Miriam. Let's hear what the Toledot Issue says about who Mary is. This daughter, talking about Mary's daughter, This daughter was betrothed by her mother to a very chaste, gentle, and pious youth. And I looked up the word pious. Pious is like real religious, a real devoted religious person. So this daughter, Mary, was betrothed by her mother to a very chaste, gentle, and pious youth named Joshua. And his name is Jochanaan. That's Jochanaan. Now it happened that Joseph occasionally passed by Miriam's door and saw her. Now we're talking about Joseph Pantry, Mary and Joseph. Jesus' earthly father, right? Now here we go again. This daughter, Mary, was betrothed by her mother to a very chaste, gentle, and pious youth named Joshua. Now it just so happens that Joseph occasionally passed by Miriam's door and saw her, Joseph Pantry. Now what it's saying here that before Joseph, Mary already had a man. Well, some of y'all know. So once again, no shock, Corbin. No shock. Yeah. His name was Joshua. Did you know that? Now she was betrothed. This daughter was betrothed by her mother. So I'm thinking what? Some coming to America stuff where, you marry him or you with him. Not your choice. This daughter was betrothed by her mother to a very chaste, gentle, and pious youth named Joshua. Now it happened that Joseph occasionally passed by Miriam's door and saw her. Miriam, wow, you look good. Damn. Then he began to have unholy affection for her. Now this is what the Toledot issue said. This book must be read. The Toledot, ToldotYeshu. This is one of the books that were banned. A Papal bull. Look that up. That's P-A, let me spell that right for y'all. P-A-P-A-L, bull, B-U-L-L. That's why I say look that up and then look up Pope Alexander VI, 1493, and you see where all this began. But back to where we were. The daughter was betrothed by her mother to a very chaste, gentle, and pious youth named Joshua. Now what happened that Joseph occasionally passed by Miriam's door and saw her. Then he began to have unholy affection for her. So he went to and fro about the place, and at length the mother said to him, "What makes you so thin?" Now I didn't write this down, but in previous, back to the anti-gospel of Yeshua the magician, it was, and from books like the Talmud and the Toledot Yeshua, it talks about how Joseph from the Bible, was a man of rare beauty. He was skinny and a man of rare beauty. So maybe he was a foreigner to where they were, and I believe they were in Bethlehem. But back to it, I think I got, 23? And it cuts off at a certain point, and so I'm going to be back on part 2, but it still continues. So Joseph occasionally passed by Miriam's door and saw her. Then he began to have holy affection for her. So he went to and fro about the place, and at length the mother said to him, "What makes you so thin?" He replied, "I am madly in love with Miriam." Then she said, Mary's mother, Jesus' grandmother, said this to Joseph. Now he says, "I am madly in love with Miriam." Then she says, "I will not deny your favor. See if she is willing, and do with her as you please." I am madly in love with Miriam. This is what Joseph says. Now, mind you, Miriam is already married now. We're talking about Mary. This is her real name. We already classified that. She already has Joshua. Here comes Joseph. Excuse me. Here comes Joseph. He's walking around, peeping out the whole time, knowing she took him. He went to the mom. I'm really feeling your daughter. Mom's like, shoot, I can't deny that. I mean, And she says, I would not deny your favor. See if she is willing and do with her as you please. Obeying her counsel, Joseph Pantry went frequently by the house, but did not find a suitable time until one Sabbath evening, when he happened to find her sitting before the door. Then he went into the house with her, and both sat down in a dormitory. That's spelled Domitory. They both sat down in a dormitory near the door, for she thought he was her betrothed Joshua. Miriam thought that Joseph was her man Joshua. Let me keep on going. After this point, it says the text switches to a Latin version, a Latin ancient version of a V-chip. Like I say, if you want to know your true knowledge, you have to go to different languages. There's different versions of it. A different version of the Toledot, which is spelled Toldot, reads, now people, I told y'all, I got a disclaimer for y'all. You can get upset if you're Christians out there and you call yourself scholars and you telling these people this, and you got Bible school on Sundays, and you have the Bible studies on Wednesdays or Thursdays. Let's have a discussion about this. This is important enough, especially what I'm about to say. This is important enough that it should be talked about. This is Jesus' mother, the same Jesus you praise in church. This should be talked about, y'all. But let's go back to the story. Now, like I said now, after this point, the text switches to Latin, the ancient version of the V-chip, a different version of the Toledot. And it reads, it was at night on the eve of the Sabbath when Joseph was drunken, he crossed over to her door and entered into her. But she thought in her heart, y'all, that was her betrothed Joshua. She thought in her heart that the man that came in that room, lay beside her, get intimate with her, was her man, Joshua. She hid her face. Mary, hid her face and was ashamed. He embraced her. Joseph embraced her afterwards. But she said to him, touch me not, for I am in separation. Touch me not, for I am in separation. Do y'all know what separation means? Ladies, it's an ancient word. Do y'all know what separation is? She was on a period. Oh, excuse me. And since there's people out there, let me say with respect, she was on her menstrual cycle. Touch me not, for I am in separation, is what Miriam said. He took no heed. Listen. Joseph took no heed thereof, no regard her words, but persisted. She conceived by him. Now here we have Mary, the mother of Jesus. Joseph, the man that she left with. And you will find out later that she had to leave because she got outcasted. Kicked out. Her and Joseph. How come we're not talking about this in the church? These are the books that got banned. These are the stories that you don't know about. And we haven't even got to Jesus. We on his mother. Do your research. I ain't gonna waste nobody's time on here. Let's keep on reading. And I'll read that back for you. How much time we got? I'll read that back for you. It was a night on the eve of Sabbath when drunken he crossed over to her door, and he entered into her. But she thought in her heart that it was her betrothed Joshua. She hid her face and was ashamed. He embraced her, but she said to him, touch me not, for I am in separation, menstrual cycle. He took no heed thereof, no regard her words but persisted. She conceived by him. Mary becomes pregnant. Despite her menstrual cycle, Mary becomes pregnant despite her menstrual cycle. And in hyphens, I think that's what they call it, the psh, and then the psh. Yeah, with the word in the middle, they have miracle. Now let me say this again. Despite being on her menstrual cycle, she conceives. Mary becomes pregnant, but when her real betrothed comes on the same night, she tells him about the other visit. So she kept it real with him. Now, how real she kept it with him, we don't know. Or do we? I think we might have to go a little further. Mary becomes pregnant despite her menstrual cycle. But when her real betrothed comes on the same night, she tells him about the other visit. After 3 months, Joshua was told that his betrothed was with child. In great agitation, we're talking about Joshua now, her bae, her original bae. Joshua was told that his betrothed was with child. In great agitation, he went into his teacher, Simon ben Shattach, and that's spelled Simon, Simon, Benshetaach, or it might be Shtoch. You know, I got that old school writing. But Simon ben Shattach. So he was mad, man. He knew in his heart that baby was not his. Joshua knew in his heart that baby was not his. So in great agitation, he went to his teacher, Simon ben Shattach, and telling him about the matter. He wanted, just like anybody would go through a situation like that, huh? You got that one friend, that one homeboy, huh? That one homegirl you want to confide in, man. In his case, he has Simon. Man, I think my girls kind of fucked me over. I don't think this kid is mine. Simon ben Shattach, he went to him and telling him about the matter, asked him what he ought to do. The teacher inquired, "Do you suspect anyone?" Who could it be? Man, who would do you this foul, man? You're a good dude. You're a pious youth. Who would do something like this to you? That's foul. That's grimy. The teacher inquired, "Do you suspect anyone?" Joshua said, "Nobody. Except Joseph Pantry."